Jose Rizal is the national hero of the Philippines. He was also known as the first Filipino, pride of the Malayan race, the greatest Malayan among others. Many considered him a genius, a master of all trades, a patriot, a model brother, and an ideal son. The family of Rizal is part of the most respected and well-known families at their time. His family were wealthy, and this is why Jose Rizal can afford to travel and study abroad that time. His father was Don Francisco Mercado Rizal. He was a respected man in their hometown in Calamba and became the head of the town. He died on January 5, 1898. Rizal's mother was Doña Chedora Alonso Rayalonda, born on November 14, 1827 in Santa Cruz, Manila. She was known to be hardworking, intelligent, and business-minded woman. She died on 1913 in Manila. Saturnina Neneng Mercado Rizal Hidalgo was the eldest sister of Jose Rizal. She had 5 children together with husband Manuel T. Hidalgo and died the same year as her mother in 1913. General Pasiano Mercado Rizal, aka Lolo Siano, was the only brother of Jose Rizal. He was born in 1851. After the execution of his brother, he joined in the Philippine Revolution where he rose up to the ranks of a general. Pasiano passed away in 1930. Narcisa Sisa Rizal Lopez was born in 1852 and was the one who found the unmarked grave of her brother Jose in the abandoned Old Paco Cemetery. She died in 1938. Olympia Rizal Ubaldo was born in 1855 and has 3 children. She died in 1887, wherein she is only 32 years old. Lucia Rizal Herbosa was born in 1857. She married Mariano Herbosa and had 5 children together. Lucia died in 1919. Maria Rizal Cruz was born in 1855. She was a known recipient of many old Jose's letters during his lifetime. Maria died in 1945. Jose Rizal was the 2nd son and the 7th child. He was executed by the Spaniards on December 30, 1896. Concepcion Rizal was born in 1862. She didn't live very long as she died at the age of 3 in 1865. Josefa Rizal was born in 1865. She was unmarried and lived together with her sister Trinidad until death and said to have suffered from epilepsy. She died in 1945. Trinidad Rizal was born in 1868. She was the one who received an alcohol lump from Jose Rizal in which he secretly hid the last farewell, better known as Mi Ultimo Adios, a poem of Jose Rizal that he wrote on the eve of his death. Trinidad died in 1951. The youngest sibling of Rizal is Soledad Rizal Quintero, who was born in 1870. She married Pantaleon Quintero and had 5 children. Soledad died in 1929. There were at least 9 women linked with Jose Rizal, namely Segunda Catigpac, Leonor Valenzuela, Leonor Rivera, Consuela Ortiga E. Rey, Osaisan, Gertrude Beckett, Nellie Bosted, Suzanne Jacobi, and Josephine Brackett. These women might have been beguiled by his intelligence, charm, and wit. Segunda Catigpac was his popular. Unfortunately, his first love was engaged to be married to a town-mate Manuel Cruz. Leonor Valenzuela is a tall girl from Pagsanhan. Jose Rizal sent her love notes written in invisible ink that could only be deciphered over the warmth of the lamp or candle. He visited her on the eve of his departure to Spain and bade her a last goodbye. Leonor Rivera is his sweetheart for 11 years. Unfortunately, Leonor's mother disapproved of her daughter's relationship with Rizal, who was then a known filibustero. She hid from Leonor all letters that Rizal sent to her. Leonor, believing that Rizal had already forgotten her, sadly consented her to marry the Englishman Henry Keeping, which is her mother's choice. Consuelo Ortiga E. Rey fell in love with him. He dedicated to her a La Señorita, C-O-Y-R, which became one of his best poems. The Ortiga's residence in Madrid was frequented by Jose Rizal and his compatriots. Osai-san, a Japanese samurai's daughter, taught Rizal the Japanese art of painting known as sumei. If Rizal was a man without a patriotic mission, he would have married this lovely and intelligent woman and live a stable and happy life with her in Japan. Gertrude Beckett, a blue-eyed and buxom girl, was the oldest of the 3 Beckett daughters. Before Rizal left London, he was able to finish the group carving of the Beckett sisters. He gave the group carving to Gertrude as a sign of their brief relationship. His love with Nellie Bousted unfortunately did not end in marriage. It failed because Rizal refused to be converted to the Protestant faith as Nellie demanded, and Nellie's mother did not like a physician without enough paying clientele to be a son-in-law. Suzanne Jacobi. In 1890, Rizal moved to Brussels because of the high cost of living in Paris. In Brussels, he lived in the boarding house of the two Jacobi sisters. In time, they fell deeply in love with each other. Josephine Bracken. Rizal was physically attracted to her. His loneliness and boredom must have taken the measure of him, and what could be a better diversion than to fall in love again. But the Rizal sisters suspected Josephine as an agent of the friars, and they considered her as a threat to Rizal's security. He wrote many poems and novels such as Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, another which contained revolutionary ideas of freedom and the rights of the individuals. His works were also critical of the Spanish colonial authorities, of their double standards, as well as the Spanish friars of their corrupt ways. While he is in Europe, Jose Rizal became part of propaganda movement, connecting with other Filipinos who wanted reform. He wrote his first novel, Noli Me Tangere, Touch Me Not, or The Social Cancer, a work that detailed the dark aspects of the Spain's colonial rule in the Philippines, with particular focus on the role of Catholic friars. The book was banned in the Philippines, though copies were smuggled in. Because of this novel, Rizal's return to the Philippines in 1887 was cut short and was targeted by the police. Rizal returned to Europe and continued to write, releasing his follow-up novel, El Filibusterismo, The Reign of Greed, in 1891. He also published the articles in La Solidaridad, a paper aligned with the propaganda movements. The reforms Rizal advocated for did not include independence. He called for equal treatment of the Filipinos, eliminating the power of Spanish friars, and representation for the Philippines in the Spanish Cortes, Spain's parliament. His works eventually influenced the freedom activities of many Filipino, both the peaceful and violent ones, which resulted into a revolution. December 29, 1896, Rizal was read his verdict by Captain Rafael Dominguez, to be shot the next day at 7 a.m. at the Luneta de Bagong Bayan, Rizal Park. He also wrote the poem Mi Ultimo Adios, which he concealed in an alcohol burner. When his family came to see him, he asked pardon from his mother and talked to his sisters as they entered his cell one by one. At exactly 7:03 a.m. on December 30, 1896, at Luneta, Manila, the 35-year-old patriot was shot in the back by a firing squad. He hesitated, turned halfway around to face his executioners, and fell on his back to face the Philippines' sun. When he died, nationalism was born. By then, his mission was accomplished.